Well, this summer, Ms. Cockrell and I met, and we talked about what we could do as a collaboration project. And our first year writing project is usually a scary story of some type. And she came up with the idea of using Beowulf's monster. So that was perfect. The kids really got on board. They came up with the monster, and they came up with the attributes and characteristics of that monster, and then they wrote a story about how that monster was defeated by a hero, but the focus was still on the monster, of course. So anyway, we're going to use that, and this October, we're going to be sending their stories and the senior stories together to Queensberry Library, and they're going to vote on the top 3 of all 5th grade. I was totally impressed by this group of kids with the first story. I was impressed with how they knew character traits already from different stories because I read them Fables and I read them Beowulf. Actually, I got my AI, Magnet School AI going and asked for some Fables with Beowulf. So when I read those to them, the kids started just coming up with different ideas about what they wanted to name their story, and it just spiraled. It was amazing. The kids drew their monsters, and then I asked them to come up with a name. Of course, they had a partner because there's many more of them. They had a partner, and so they came up with names, and they had to write a list of character traits, and from those traits is where they came up with the name. Some of their monsters may have looked like a crab, so crab might be in the name of the monster.
Our monster is named Calamar. He is a serpent. He is red with brown. He has moldy teeth since they don't have toothbrushes. He eats meat, has no arms or legs. He misses his family and was very, I'll say scared. He wasn't the best at being big. He was very angry since his siblings bullied him. He's mainly scared out of fear and frightness.
All right, so tell me how you ended up using their information to create a 3-dimensional version of their monster.
I mean, I just try to copy the picture the best I could with what resources I had. I thought the teeth were really cool, and I thought they were fun to make. It taught me to take my time and try to be as precise as I could, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think they said that it matched pretty good.
So with the 5th graders being around the seniors and the seniors being around the 5th graders, what have you noticed beyond the academic side and the collaboration?
Well, the 5th graders get to see what is in their future, what they can become. And the seniors get to see who they used to be. So that just warms up my heart. It gives me a lot of hope to know that even though they're resistant in a lot of ways, they still want to grow and want to be good, productive citizens.
All right, so this whole thing began when I saw a Facebook video about an 8th grade craft class that collaborated with a kindergarten class, and they had the kindergarten class draw a monster and kind of give it a name and some characteristics, and then those kids sent it back to the craft class and they made a physical copy of the monster. I was like, we can do a story, Beowulf. So it's one of the first English texts that we study, and it's about a hero and a monster. And I was like, this sounds like something fun that we can do, because we don't often get to have fun in English class. It took a lot of brain power, because these kids, they got to pick which monster they wanted, but they got to pick one that they thought was interesting and that they thought from their creative ability that they would be able to replicate. Then we had some mini lessons in class about how to make a pattern, how to decide whether the shape could be done in a 3-dimensional shape or if it needed to be done on a flat surface, because it was a lot of stuff going on. It was very complicated. I learned that these kids need to be able to tap into their creativity and be able to figure things out. That was one of the biggest goals that they were facing, is being able to take something, look at it, and make it into something else. There were lots of frustrating days and frustrated students when they were trying to figure out how to make this flat object into something physical. But one of the sayings in my classroom is, it's figure-outable. So figure it out, ask questions, ask for help, but in the end, figure it out, make it happen. I saw the biggest smiles on their face than I've seen in a long time, because when they come to English, it's their 13th year in school, their 13th year of having an English class, and so many times they're like, why do I have to take another one of these? It kind of brought them joy. They got to do something, like I said, to be creative, and they got to have pride in something they've done and see someone else be excited about their accomplishments. So it was just really, really fun to see them talking with other kids and getting outside of their comfort zones. And even though I had some questions that they could use as guidelines, I don't think many of them did, because they were able to communicate, which is something that we have to continue to stress, the value of communication and creativity.